Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Excellent. What brings you here today?
Well, I came to learn to better my golf swing.
So, your golf swing, it's a pretty broad area.
Right.
So if you get to narrow that down, what would you feel would be a successful lesson today if you find out about something and then you get to fill in the blanks?
All right. So my biggest issue is every time I hit that ball, it heads to the right.
Oh wow. How much to the right?
About 30, 40 yards, and I consistently do it. So I'm consistent at least in my mistakes.
Okay. So if we had a good goal for today's lesson, would you feel good if we could cut that in half potentially?
That would save me losing a lot of balls.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have you played golf for a long time?
I started playing when I was about 7 years old.
Yeah.
At the club my father belonged to, my parents belonged to. I've gone away and come back to it. I think the more I play, the worse I get as the season goes, so it gets frustrating.
Well, I'm here to help you today.
Thank you.
And can you tell me a little bit about maybe what you do for line of work, if you have any other hobbies?
Yep. I run a diabetes center, and so I work a lot and like to play golf on the weekends, and it'd be nice if a round of golf didn't take 6 hours because I'm looking and losing a lot of balls.
Okay. Before we could go into any swinging or warm-up, tell me a little bit about health history and or injuries that you may have.
All right, I'm a pretty healthy person. About 5 years ago, I did have rotator cuff surgery from a yoga accident, but my shoulder's really doing well now. I don't have any limitations.
Left shoulder or right shoulder?
My right shoulder.
Your right shoulder. Okay. And nothing that prevents you from golfing or feeling any pain
Absolutely
later
not.
on in the round?
Nothing.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, before we start swinging the club, I thought we would do some little warm-up exercises.
Yes.
So I've chosen 3 of them just because we're a little limited in our half hour today. So we're going to do 3 things. We're going to do we'll do some leg swings.
Right.
Okay. We're going to do some shoulder rolls.
Okay.
Okay. And a little exercise for the neck.
Okay.
Okay. So I thought that we would do these together. And let you hold the club. And the way it's going to work with the leg swings is the same. We'll move this way a little bit so we're in the safe area. The way it would work is the same leg that we're going to swing, we're going to hold the club in that hand. So we're going to swing it 8 times. 3, 8. Okay, and I'll face you this way. And then we'll do the same thing with the left leg. Any difference that you feel in your body between the 2 legs?
No.
Okay, very good. For our little shoulder rolls, we're going to go 8 back and then 8 forward.
Okay.
Okay. 8, and then we'll go reverse it. Very good. Now in terms of neck, we'll get to see whether you can fully rotate with your shoulders and everything. So you're going to face me straight on. The torso is going to stay still, and we're just going to gently turn the head to the left, the other way. Okay. So it actually it looks a little bit like you have more range of motion going this way and slightly less range of motion.
I think you're absolutely right. Never thought about it.
So it's not something that's necessarily bad, it's just that we recognize that that's the case. So you mentioned that it was the right shoulder that you had injured, so
Wow.
okay. That's Do you do any warm-ups when you're by yourself and you play?
I do this kind of thing,
So
and my shoulders,
And your
and
shoulders.
I roll this.
Okay, very good. Any kind of ballistic stretches that you can do, so stretches with movement prior to swinging the club, I would definitely recommend.
Okay.
There are more exercises, but we'll start with
I've
these
never.
today.
I've watched people do it. I've never knew it was how important it was. Okay.
So we're gonna get started on trying to figure out what makes your ball go to the right.
Okay.
First of all, the clubs that you brought with you today, have they been fitted for you? Are they
No.
loaners?
No, they're loners.
They're loaners. Okay. Are they pretty similar to
Yes,
the clubs
definitely.
that you would be playing? Okay. Is there a particular club today that you would like to use for our lesson?
I'd love to use a driver.
You'd love to use the driver. Let's use the
Okay.
driver. So the driver in your bag here, this is the longest club in your bag. Okay. With you talking about your miss being 30 yards to the right, is that with your driver or is that with any club?
It's pretty much with any club.
With any club. Okay, so just for, so we're on the same page and for information's sake, the longer the club, once we add speed to the process, this is the one that's going to be the least forgiving out of all the clubs that you have in your bag. So if this one went 30 yards, right of target, most likely our other ones might not be as severe to the right, but that's just a little,
Okay.
just a little tidbit of knowledge. Do you feel that these stretches that we've performed here, that they would be enough for you to swing the club? Is there anything in addition that you'd like to do to feel like you're loose
No,
enough?
I think that
Maybe you did a little yoga this
Yeah.
morning of some sort?
stretches.
Okay. So come this way. I brought some little alignment rods. The only one that we're going to use this one for is we'll pick a target so we can see in relation to this where your golf ball ends up.
Okay.
We're on an aqua range here today. The balls are going to float. They're not going to go the full distance, but we can still see curve on the ball. So I'll let you tease. I'll let you set up, and we're gonna hit it. We're gonna hit a drive over in this area, so you'll tee it up on the same line as, or even with the orange stick. That's good. Yeah, that's perfect. And then you just get to be you.
Okay. Jay Tweet.
Sure.
Do it again.
You can take as many practice swings as you want, in terms of getting loose. Okay, so
To the right.
to the right. Okay, so you're in relation to our target, where that ball ended up. Your
Nice.
assessment was pretty spot on, and that's in the 30-yard range. Okay, I'll let you hit one more shot here. Actually, we'll hit a couple of more shots, and I'll get a chance to look at your motion from some little different angles. Is that the tee height that
Yes.
you like there?
Yep. To the right.
Those are very
Consistent.
They're extremely consistent. Okay, all in the same area. Okay, so now we want to bring that
Yep.
closer to our target.
So anytime I've had a lesson, they just, at the end of the lesson, they just tell me to aim left.
Okay, so I think that we might be able to bypass that a little bit and work on the grip as a starter.
Okay.
Okay, the reason why we want to work on the grip is because it's the only body part that actually connects us to the club.
Okay.
So the way we place our hands on the handle here has great impact on what our club face does when it connects with the ball.
Okay.
Even if I were only to hold the club in one hand like this, if I do this with my hand, something happens to the club face. And if I do that with my hand, something happens to the club face. So depending on what our hands do throughout the swing, very much dictates how we return this to the ball. Now if you go ahead and I want you to show me how you place your hands on the club.
Okay.
And if you have a routine,
I do.
you do.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So my routine is this and this.
This and that. Okay, so tell me about this and that.
Okay, this I always thought was down, straight down this, and that. Crosses over.
And it crosses over. So let me see your left hand here for a second. If we were to open your left hand up, would you say that you have the club more in the palm or more in the fingers?
Right here, or through the fingers.
Through the fingers?
Right there.
Okay, so the way you pointed, so the fingers would be more here.
Oh, okay.
And this would be more palm-like.
Okay.
So which one do you have it then?
That way.
That way. So when you grip the club
Right.
in the palm, I'm gonna let you try this out, but if I grip the club more so in the palm like this, I'm gonna struggle stabilizing this club. It's gonna put a lot of pressure in the wrong spots.
Oh.
On the other hand, if I base it more, a little closer to the base of the fingers and hold on, now I have completely different stability.
Oh. I didn't know that. Okay.
So we're gonna place it when you have it more in the palm.
Yeah. That's a palm.
That's
That's
the
what I
palm.
do.
That's what you do.
Yes.
So if you relax your hand just a little bit here, and now we grip it more. There you go, perfect and close. Now if you hold the club up like so, and I'm gonna let the wrist hinge a little bit, just gently. If you hold it like so, what happened now?
Stable.
Stable. So stability throughout the swing is huge.
Okay.
Is that
Yeah. It's way different.
way different in the feel or
Everything.
everything?
It's stability thing.
Yes. So the way that we place our left hand on there then is, I recommend that we hold the club up like this. It just helps with our overall
Okay,
posture.
right.
As soon as we get down here, look what happened to my
Yep.
back. It got all rounded. So we want to be nice and athletic. We have the club face in a square position,
Okay.
meaning that the toe and the heel of the club, they line up evenly.
Right. Okay.
So when you connect with the ball, your club face is open
Yeah.
because of your hands.
Yep.
Okay? So we actually want to get it closer to square.
Okay.
So left hand is going to go on like so. And then your right hand, you had your right hand in a pretty good position. Do you lace your
I do.
hands? Okay, so you lace your hands that way.
Yes.
And if we can get the hands a little closer together,
Oh.
that would be good.
Oh.
Okay? The further they're separated,
That's what I always thought was that I had better control that way. I always felt like I had better control if I had my hands apart.
was that something that you came up with yourself?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So left hand on there first, and you can go a little. You can come a little further down. There you go. Close. Good. So when we lay this down now, see the lifeline
Way different.
Thumb goes over here. So now your hands are gonna be a little
Crunchier together.
together. They don't have to hang on there super
Okay.
tight.
Okay.
Okay. They just want to have some room, some play
Okay.
room. Okay. Now your previous grip with the left hand was more like this.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Okay.
Now what we can start to see here, which might be a good guideline for you, is two knuckles
Got
on
it.
your left hand.
I see.
The more the hand gets put in this position, we can see fingers.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay.
Okay. So
All right.
without making any additional changes to your golf swing, I'm just gonna let you make some swings with this kind of grip.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And then let's make 5 golf swings, with a pretend ball.
Okay.
And then after those 5 swings, if you can provide me with any kind of feedback.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll go over here, face this way. There we go. Sorry, back up just a little bit. There we go. Gonna let the hands be just a little lower.
Okay. So they're lower. They're not up. They're
Yes,
lower.
they're a little lower and relaxed.
Okay.
Okay, and then just make your normal golf swing. Can you tell me anything about?
I don't
those
know. It
swings?
feels like it's too far away.
What feels too
The
far
club feels a little too far away. It's like I want to push up on it.
away? Okay, so we'll return shortly to the
Okay.
too far away.
Okay.
In terms of the grip,
Oh yeah. No,
How-
that makes sense.
that makes
it feels,
sense.
It feels good
What feels
when
good?
I finish. When the swing, I feel like I'm coming through it better,
Mhm.
and that I'm not batting at it, batting at the ball.
Okay, so let's see if I understand. So with batting at the ball, does that mean hitting at
Yes,
the ball
right.
versus
Yes.
versus
that's- yes,
through?
Right.
Okay, so less batting and more fluid.
Yes. Fluid.
Very good. Now, to come back to your question about how far away, yes, it's true that, if I can borrow this one, the further away, even though this may feel powerful, it won't be because the body and the club, they're too far away and too separated. And I can't make a very athletic motion from
Yeah.
here. And you may notice that my posture does probably not look very athletic. But if I get to bring this in and stand a little taller, now my hands can hang more down from my shoulders versus being overly stretched out. You may have noticed on one of your swings that you
I tipped.
you tipped
I
a little
tipped.
bit.
I was
So-
waiting to.
So think about if a lot of your weight is going this way, it's going to force you and change your balance point.
Okay.
So yes, we want to have the driver and our hands a little closer to our body with the same grip that we've talked about. Okay? So we're going to start it from up
Sorry.
here.
Right. There we go.
Here's our nice and square club face. Very good. Excellent. This goes in the lifeline.
The lifeline.
We'll face this way a little bit. So right here we can see how these really, they cushion up right against one another. And we can see two knuckles.
Right.
Okay? So we're going to lower this just a little bit so they get to relax. Okay. Is this closer or further away than before?
Closer.
Closer. Okay, so this way it allows, once
Yep.
your body swings, the club wants to swing with that motion.
Okay.
The the other way, your body wants to swing one way, and your club is too much
Right.
out there. Okay. So from here, go ahead and make your swing now. Good job. How was that last
Feels
swing?
great. I
That
love
feels-
that.
You love
That
that?
sounded. I love the sound of that.
So what we're gonna do here is, let's go ahead and do your setup. We have the same target that
Okay.
that we started with, and we'll see how the grip change, how it affects our direction here.
Okay.
Okay? And I'm gonna have you hit 4 shots, and you get to comment or give me feedback any way that you like.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
How was that one?
That was great.
So what did you notice?
I noticed it went much straighter. And I felt like I hit it. I could hear it. I felt it hit exactly in the middle, not at the tip, not at the.
So on your other shots, did those?
That's always I felt that.
So this is your club face here.
Right.
So your version of the tip, we call it the toe,
That's what I was hitting.
and this is the heel. So you got closer to the
Yes,
sweet
I
spot,
did. Yep.
which is wonderful.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, we still have 3 more great ones to go here. Okay, how was that in
That
relation?
felt good, but I think I went a little to the right on that.
A little more right than the other one. So we'll finish up with these last couple of shots. Yep, just keep working on the sticks there, sticks up against it. Hands get to relax a little bit. There we go.
Oh my gosh! I've never hit that.
So we have a. How was that?
I've never hit that way before. That was fabulous.
So we can see how connected that, depending on what our hands
Yeah.
do, it has a big effect on what the club head does through the shot.
And standing closer, I was always that. Okay.
So it's going to help you. The standing closer is going to help you with the balance,
Right.
and the hand placement is going to help you train yourself to get your hands on each time this way.
Okay.
So what I thought that we would do is I have a little recommendation in terms of a little tool that's fairly inexpensive that you could get at like a sporting goods store, and I'll show it to you because I have it in my golf bag.
Okay.
So that is basically a grip trainer that'll allow you to place your hands the same way each time.
Okay.
So if you hang out here for just a second, I'm gonna retrieve that one. Now mine is gonna look a little bit different from the one we have in that comes in the store, but essentially this is the part that you're looking for.
Okay.
So it's a mold.
All right.
Okay, it has 2 V's on it. The left hand here, in your weak position hand, we would not have been able to fit that in there.
Right.
But with your 2 knuckle hand, the V fits in. This one here, the V goes
Wow.
in that
Sure.
V.
Sure.
So it might give us a little bit of a visual guide as well as a feel guide.
Okay.
There you go. Now, does this give you a similar
Oh my
sensation
gosh, yes.
to what you just
Yes,
had?
exactly. Never
So-
seen this before.
So the one that comes in the store, it comes with the grip. It has the little pole, and at the end you might have a little bit of a weighted object.
Okay.
So you won't see the orange balls.
Okay.
But that is something that I think this is probably the biggest key to getting started with golf and being successful is the correct
Okay.
hand placement.
Great.
So I hope that we started out with a 30-yard
Right.
miss, and
We corrected it a lot.
we had a lot of success bringing your ball closer to the target.
I've never heard my grip was wrong. So that's amazing.
So even if you can't do this, we still have a way to do it with.
Sure.
If you have letterings on your club, as long as they are on
Right.
straight,
Sure.
we can use that as a guide.
Yep.
So now we'd have the
V and the V.
V and the V, and the golf pride
Mhm.
would go in the other V. And then making sure that you see two knuckles.
That makes it sound too simple. That's great.
Simple is good.
Yeah.
Okay, the game is pretty difficult, so when we can simplify, that's a great help. So do you feel that in terms with your long and short-term goals that we made some
Oh my gosh.
nice
I think
progress today?
now I want to go out and play golf.
Wonderful.
This is great.
Do you have any other questions for me before we part ways?
No, I'm just so excited. This has been a challenge that never goes away. So,
Awesome.
all right.
Well,
Thank you
thank
so
you so much, Joni.
Really appreciate it.
Take care.